Today we need to talk about what is, without a doubt, the single most terrifying and overlooked question in all of modern technology. It's not about what AI can do, but what happens when it goes terribly, fatally wrong. We are in a really dangerous legal and ethical vacuum right now, and in this explainer, we're going to expose exactly why. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and dive right into the heart of this crisis with one brutal question. When an autonomous system makes a life or death decision that ends in tragedy, who wears the handcuffs? The programmer? The person who used it? The multi-billion-dollar corporation that built it? The shocking answer, right now, might be absolutely nobody. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's already happening. Just picture this scenario. It's getting more real every single day. A self-driving car makes a split-second calculation and causes a fatal accident. The user, they had their hands on the wheel just like they were told. The company says the AI is a self-learning system, that it makes its own connections. So who is legally responsible for that death? This is the accountability nightmare we are living in right now. To really understand why this is such a crisis, first we have to look at why the legal systems we've trusted for a century are completely, utterly failing us. We are trying to use analog laws in a world run by digital life and death decisions. This right here, this comparison gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Our entire system of product liability law, it was built for things like, well, a toaster. Seriously, if your toaster electrocutes you, an expert can take it apart, find the faulty wire, and point to a clear manufacturing defect. Simple. But in AI, it's not a simple machine. It's this complex, evolving system that's constantly learning from infinite data points. You can't just find the one faulty wire of code.
And that brings us to the crucial point. We're dealing with what everyone calls the black box problem. The AI's decision-making process is so complex that often, not even the engineers who built the thing can tell you with 100% certainty why it chose to swerve left instead of right. And this black box, you better believe it, has become the ultimate corporate alibi.
So this leads to the inevitable blame game that follows every single AI failure. Companies like Tesla or Google could argue the user misused the system, or they can claim the training data they used was flawed, or they can just throw up their hands and blame unforeseen complexity. It creates this impossible legal maze where the victim and their family are just left with no answers and, worse, no justice. But look, this isn't just about spectacular, headline-grabbing accidents. The crisis gets way more insidious, affecting millions of people in secret, life-altering ways every single day. Yeah, we're talking about the algorithms that decide if you get a job, if you get a loan, or even if you're flagged as a potential criminal. These are massive decisions made in a fraction of a second by code that can carry all the biases of the flawed human data it was trained on. Just imagine getting this message. You have a great credit score, a solid job, but you're denied a mortgage. Why? The bank just tells you it was a proprietary algorithmic assessment. You can't appeal it because you don't even know the reason. The algorithm, which was trained on historical data, may have just learned that people from your zip code are a higher risk. It's basically digital redlining, hidden inside a black bot. Or how about this one? An AI recruitment tool scans your resume and rejects you because you don't fit a success profile. And what's that profile based on? Well, it was built by analyzing the company's past employees, who were overwhelmingly from one specific demographic. The AI isn't judging your skills, it's just perpetuating historical hiring bias at lightning speed. Which brings us right back to the core legal disaster here. Who do you take to court? The company that used the algorithm? They'll just say they bought the software. The software developer? They'll point right back to that black box and claim they couldn't possibly have predicted this specific outcome. You're left totally legally helpless. Okay, so the good news is the world is finally waking up to this crisis. There is an urgent global hunt underway to find a solution, to find a way to make someone somewhere actually responsible. This isn't just some debate among academics anymore. In government halls from Brussels to Washington, D.C., lawmakers are in a desperate race against time, trying to draft rules that can rein in this autonomous technology before it's well and truly too late. Right now, there are 3 leading proposals emerging in this global debate. First, mandating that every major AI model have a designated human accountability officer, a real person whose job and legal liability is tied directly to the AI's performance. Second, requiring AI kill switches, a way for a human to immediately override the system. And third, and this is the most controversial one, assigning strict, direct liability to the original developer for any harm their AI causes, no matter how complex it is. But there's a huge divide on this. The European Union is pushing aggressively for really comprehensive, strict laws that put human rights first. Here in the US, though, there's massive resistance from the big tech companies who argue, of course, that heavy regulation is going to stifle innovation. It's that classic battle, safety versus speed. And that's really what this all boils down to. It's the fundamental choice of our time. Do we just continue down this path of unchecked innovation, accepting these black box tragedies as the cost of progress? Or do we demand that human justice and accountability remain the absolute foundation of our society? So I'll leave you with this final and pretty chilling thought. If an autonomous AI makes a decision that ends your life, what is that in the eyes of the law? Is it murder without a murderer? Is it a simple product defect, like a faulty toaster? Or is it something brand new, a tragic but ultimately blameless act of nature? The answer to that question is going to define the entire future of our legal system. The first step to fixing any of this is awareness. Stay informed on this topic. Demand that your elected officials stop ignoring this legal black hole and start creating real frameworks for accountability. And to keep up with this critical issue, make sure you subscribe to AI Future Trends for more investigative explainers just like this one. The future of justice really depends on all of us staying vigilant.